Hello and welcome to episode 56 of the Kicking Back podcast. Today our guest is Amber J. Now Amber J's music blends genres from the likes of electronica to alt pop to create her own atmospheric musical universe. Ooh. Now that sounds wild, doesn't it?
Sounds much better than it is in reality.
How you doing, Amber? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty tired, I'm not going to lie. But I'm very pleased to have you here. I'm a big fan of your music. When I first heard it, I was like, this is pretty cool shit. So thank you for coming on. And of course, Ella, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Are you sick of looking at my face yet?
You know what? I'm doing good. It's been a very exciting day.
It has.
I've had a lovely time.
Yes, it's been good. It's been good. So, Amber, for the people at home that might not have heard your music before, how would you describe yourself if I was to say like 3 different artists that you would sound like or take influence from?
Ooh, I'd say the 3 that I'd kind of like gravitate towards is Billie Eilish, but I think everyone's kind of influenced by Billie Eilish now. It's kind of like hard not to be. I think she's kind of killing it.
Yeah.
Little Sims a lot as well, which is like one that people, I don't think people would think about. And Aurora, who I've only just recently discovered, but someone was like, you need to hear this. Like, this is sort of like, I think you'd like it. And because I'm rubbish at getting into new music, like I'm really bad at it.
Okay.
And so I forced myself to listen to it, and I was like, wow, I should listen to new music more. This is amazing.
So what kind of vibe is Aurora, would you say?
It's mad. It's like her vocals are insane. They're like these beautiful, like gospel-y, like angelic vocals, these insane harmonies, which is not me. But like the tone of her voice is maybe kind of similar in a way. Like it's not. She's not like a huge like belting like pop artist, but kind of meshes into that like pop world, which is a bit ethereal as well. I think, I don't know if that's the word of that genre, ethereal. Yeah. And then but then she has like these like really cool like beats and like string moments. Like it's very atmospheric, and so I love it. It's a bit of me. And then like with Little Sims, I don't know, like I recently only again found her, so like her lyrics or something, I think that I just like just get me. And again, the same with like the very orchestral moments in her music as well, which I find really like captivating.
Sure. Which
is kind of, there's definitely like a thread through them all that kind of bring them together, even though they're kind of a little bit, you know, not related in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I haven't heard of either Little Sims or Aurora. Is there an album or somewhere I should begin to have a listen?
Yes. Little Sims. What is that new album just called? Ella, do you know it? I feel like it's got an acronym, hasn't it? It's Poppy will know when she sat outside.
James, do you want to Google it? New Lil Sim. Is it Little or Lil Sims?
Oh, I've got it. It's Little Sims.
Okay.
Sometimes I Might Be Introvert is the name of the album.
Okay.
And then Aurora's album that I really like is like The Gods We Can't Trust or Can Touch or something like that. That one might need clarification. I don't know. I don't know. But it's yeah, they're both incredible albums.
I'm not going to lie. Now, I have heard of Billie Eilish. Don't worry, I've not been living in a hole for like the past 5 years. But I've never like dedicated my time to listen to it. Is there? Where do I begin?
I mean, I'd start with When We All Fall Asleep. Where do we go? Because I think that album like really like captivated me. I think for the first time, it's the first time I heard like a voice that was kind of, you know, was kind of softer. Against these huge, like not huge productions, but like these beats and like these like sort of like it wasn't like acoustic sort of like light fluffy songs like her voice, which you'd associate maybe her tone of voice being with. Her voice is like amazing, and soft and lovely, and it's kind of put against these productions that kind of counteract it in a way. So like, yeah, I think it's the first time where I was like, oh, like so like if I want to make music like that, I can, like, because my voice is kind of like soft like that, so I don't have to go down like the acoustery singer-songwritery path, which is where I didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
So kind of like opened a lot of like doors in the mind for me to be like, oh, okay, like maybe I can like go down that sort of route.
So have you not always been like, because obviously your sound is quite produced, has it always been that sort of way, or is it kind of morphed into that over time?
Yeah, it kind of morphed. Like, it wasn't like that for a long time. The songs kind of just existed as they were acoustically, and then I just gigged them at open mics and stuff. And I recorded like a lot of them, but they kind of just weren't the way I wanted them to be. I think I wasn't confident enough, like I can tell, like when I listen back to those like first initial recordings that I did, like I sound terrified, like in the songs, like it sounds like I'm like at gunpoint singing these songs. But like, yeah, I think it was just a little bit too soon, and I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in, but I knew what direction I didn't want to go in, which was this sort of like, you know, acoustic-y vibe thing. So then it wasn't until I sort of found those sort of influences like Billie Eilish, even like Marika Hackman, the Japanese house, people like that. I was like, okay, like they're doing it a bit different. Maybe I can take some bits like similar to that and move in that sort of direction. And so then I took those songs and re-recorded them with a different producer, and he was more like used to like producing like in a more of a like electronic way, and that's when the songs kind of like took that more of a form, and I was, you know, telling them about all these influences I like and how I want it to sound, and that kind of then grew that new arm of the music, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting because like when I listen to your music, it's got quite a like, I'm gonna say like sinister edge. Ooh. In terms of like just like melodically and stuff. That like, do you know what I mean? The melodies aren't like twee or whatever. They're quite sort of like Billie Eilish's sort of thing. It's a bit like it's got a darkness to it in some of it. So I can't like imagine that in like a singer-songwritery context. Do you know what I mean? I can only hear your music as it is.
Yeah.
But no, it works really well. Who's the producer that you worked with?
His name's Curran Cabal.
Okay.
And he's based in Birkenhead. And yeah, I found him. Well, he's also really like an artist himself under the name Monkey Junkie.
Right.
And I'd seen him perform a few times, like out and about, and thought he was really cool. So I'd followed him for a bit, and then he posted about, you know, having a new studio space open, and he's looking to work with different artists. And I remember like seeing the post and going, oh, that's like sounds terrifying, like to go in and like work with him, like because I like really liked his music and stuff. And I was like, I'll just message him and see what happens. And yeah, that's kind of where it started. But he's a really good producer. I really like working with him.
Are you quite like? Were you like precious about things when he started like manipulating it and changing it, or were you like just go with it, let him do whatever he wants?
Literally, I was like, just try anything. Like I had like no sort of like rules, which I think is like a good thing. Like I still have that now. Like sometimes, to be honest, sometimes I find it hard to have like a preconception of like what I want it to sound like anyway when I go in. But I can quickly figure out where I don't want it to sound like, you know, if we're going down a route. And I'm like, no, maybe like, but then to be honest, he's that good. We normally end up hitting it quite quickly. And so, yeah, I'm not really precious about it. I'm like, yeah, try anything, do anything, go mad. Like literally, if it sounds weird, try it. Cause like, like I'm like that with pretty much anything. Like I saw these like really like, oh, they might be ugly. I haven't decided yet. These shoes, and they were like Sully shoes, and they were like fluffy, like from Monsters Inc.
Oh right.
And like they were bordering on horrendous, but like I thought like they're just the coolest thing ever because like no one's gonna wear them, so I kind of like want to wear them just to be like ridiculous, and so I kind of like that with my music as well. I'm like make it a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I noticed you wearing like your Mystery Machine shoes, which I wish I could show people because I was like, they're fucking awesome. You've got great taste in shoes.
Thank you.
Clearly. So Ella, you have worked with Amber before, or you've definitely featured on the page.
Yeah. I mean, I know Amber from school, which is a bit random. Me and Eve and Amber all went to the same school,
right?
And so have existed in music rooms together through the past. So it's really exciting for me to sort of see like where you've ended up musically, because I don't know, like, you know, you've obviously got an amazing voice, and it's so exciting to see how you've transformed that through the production and even just through the lyricism into something that's so like you said, you don't reject the softness of your voice, you embrace it, and that almost like creates and makes the sort of sinister edge you were talking about more impactful, because you do embrace the softness as well. So it's so exciting for me to sort of see you like come into your own as an artist. And we've like done some features for Amber on the Page. We very recently recorded an episode for our podcast with Amber as well, where we're talking about Amber's music, but also like Amber's just also a very nice person. And, has done some like nice bits, and like Equal, the latest single, is great because, you know, it's such like an empowering song, and it's written as much for other people as much as it's written for you, I guess, in terms of like, you know, the intention of the music. And so it was great to chat to Amber about that. And we also have a little zine coming out which celebrates
A what?
a zine.
What's a zine?
Oh wow, introducing you to a whole new world.
Please do.
A zine is sort of like a DIY magazine. It has its origins in like pop culture of like punk, and also like football and football hooliganism and stuff. And it's basically like people would make publications and photocopy them and distribute them. So it's basically a magazine but shortened to zine, because it's such like a DIY hands-on sort of thing. But we're making an online zine about sort of like LGBTQ plus creatives across Merseyside, and there's also a feature of Amber in there. Cool. So I've been doing a lot of illustrating Amber recently, so I feel like I have a lot of like Amber. I've had Amber on the mind the last couple of weeks.
That makes me laugh.
So yeah, it's been great, and like always love, you know, hearing your music, and it's just such a unique sound.
Yeah.
Like it's really not like anything else. Not even just locally, but just like in the world of music. Like I don't think anything like your music really exists. And it's so nice how you like tread this line between different genres, and like even in the songs themselves, like the songs evolve as you're listening to them.
Yeah.
Like it starts off one way and then it leans into something else, and then it's like, I don't know, like the lyrics go between different states of mind, and the music sort of changes, and like the tempo of the song like suddenly goes somewhere you didn't expect it to go. It's just like a real journey listening to your songs. I think that's great, and it was great to see Amber performing as well, because I think, you know, you've got such like a unique stage presence, and I think the thing which really comes to mind with you is like an honesty as well as like a freeness in your music. Because like I think I said like in a little trailer we recorded, like a lot of your lyrics feel quite confessional, like the way that you talk about things I feel very personal. And I know from talking to you before that the songs from this EP were written without intention to be released originally, if I'm correct. So there's like a real personal intimacy to the lyrics, where it's like, you know, someone's diary entries or things that you know are maybe hard to confront yourself or understand yourself. And it's so interesting to hear those really like personal thoughts put to such like a dancey soundtrack, where you're sort of like throwing yourself across the stage like in quite in like an excited way. I don't know, it's just so interesting. It's such like I don't know, there's so much I could say, do you know what I mean? Because there's just so much that's going on with your music.
Thank you, Ella. You said so many nice things in such a short amount of time. I'm about to explode.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I love your music as well. Like, I was instantly gripped. Like, I just went on Spotify, just played through all of them, and normally within like 30 seconds I make my mind up. It's like, I just didn't stop listening to it. It's everything you got on there. It's like, she's fucking great.
Oh, thank you so much.
So that's
guys.
why you're here.
I'm coming back again.
I reckon let's let the people at home hear some of this music, and then we can have a bit of chat about it afterwards. And yeah, so let's do it. So you're about to hear a lovely live session from our guest today, Amber J. Enjoy it, and then we'll be back to talk about the songs and chat a little bit of shit. We'll see. See you in a second.
Hi, my name's Amber J, and this is my song In My Own Way. forget how it hurts until you realize how much you've lost and what it's worth. I'm just trying to get by in my own way, keep my hands to myself, resist the urge to. When she walks by, I lose myself. Sometimes I feel nothing, yet everything at the same time. I'm counting your glances, your words in advancement, and my face feels so numb. Try to glue my features back on. I'm just trying to get by in my own way, keep my hands to myself, resist the urge to. When she walks by, I lose myself. Sometimes I feel nothing, yet everything at the same time. And your head rising out the beds, I dream of you when you're lying next to me. My soul sinks from your lack of empathy, and I think you like to watch this room burning holes in my heart. I'm just trying to get by in my own way, keep my hands to myself, resist the urge to. When she walks by, I lose myself. Sometimes I feel nothing, yet everything at the same time. This next track is called Pencil Brims. The pressure, the taste, the value lay upon your penciled brim to my weak skin. And she steals smoke from strangers' fingers, takes a slip within nestled lips. What makes it is the final glimpse of your smile before I close my strangers' fingers, takes a slip within should've, could've done. Maybe then you would've stayed. Your mind is beautifully strong, regardless it's been made. I don't hate you, I expected this from you. Your mind is beautifully strong, I'm a mind that is over. Everyone has their place, alright. The nature of the beast never leaves its side. That's what I should've, could've done. Maybe then you would've stayed. Your mind is beautifully strong, regardless it's been made. I don't hate you, I expected this from you. Your mind is beautifully strong, I'm a mind that is over. Wrong. The pressure, the taste of value lay upon your pencil brim to my weak skin. Cool. Right, should we do the next one?
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, so this next one's called Equal. It's my latest single, so yeah, hope you like it. Not for general consumption, but guess that's being a woman. I don't know why we're always punished. If I give any more, I'll have nothing. Hours of extracting, injected out, a wringing out, skin-soaked tea towels. And you just need to trust the man with the mouse. And if you don't, you lose out. And I did it, and I broke out. And I take that and I feed it to my gut, suck it up like I am bleeding, make it a staple in every female, tell every woman that a woman is able. And I take that and I feed it to every she, he and they who need it. If I can see her, then I'll be her. A person is a person and we're equal. I will tell you what I see. Please don't deny its legitimacy. And I try to, but who am I to deny a feeling outside of me? Stop scratching out souls, playing the trigger, happy go roll. Forget the program and go with the pronouns. Hours of extracting, injected out, a wringing out, skin-soaked tea towels. But you just need to trust the man with the nose. And if you don't, you lose out. But I did it, and I broke out. And I take that and I feed it to my gut, suck it up like I am bleeding, make it a staple in every female, tell every woman the woman is able. And I take that and I feed it to every she, he and they who need it. If I can see her, then I'll be her. A person is a person and we're equal. We are wise enough to know they'll come for us. Look them in the eyes, hear the comments from their mouths. My body don't belong to you. Sipping on a fruit too sour to chew. Oh, going so soon. Flesh gains interest and access. I said my body don't belong to you. My body don't belong to you. My body don't belong. And I take that and I feed it to my gut, suck it up like I am bleeding, make it a staple in every female, tell every woman that a woman is able. And I take that and I feed it to every she, he and they who need it. If I can see her, then I'll be her. A person is a person and we're equal. So across all good streaming services, Amber J, and then on Instagram, Twitter, and social media, I am Amber J.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Hello and welcome back to episode 56. You've just watched a fucking awesome performance from our guest today, Amber J. Whoa!
The coffee's set in.
It's definitely helping. It's definitely helping. So you did 3 tracks for us. Do you want to take us through each track, what they're about, and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, so the first one, My Own Way, was kind of like, what was it about? It was kind of like that sort of classic post-breakup thing where you're kind of like, I'm just trying to do my own thing, but I also like completely regret breaking up with you. And like, it was kind of like this sort of, in a way, like passive aggressive thing in a sense of like, I'm just trying to do my own thing, but I'm kind of not at the same time. Like, I'm still really invested in everything you're doing at the same time. So that's where it kind of like that song came from. And yeah, they all kind of were like written in that sort of time, except for Equal. All the EP was focused around that kind of section of time in my life, which felt good actually once like I'd released it, and by the time everything got recorded, it felt very much like a distant thing. So like a chapter closed almost, which is nice.
Did it feel kind of like cathartic to sort of get it done and it's over now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But then with like, I think as well, sometimes I forget like what they're about when people say what they're about. I'm like, hang on, I have to like track back and try and think about like what headspace I was in then.
Sure, yeah.
Even though I like sing them all the time, I kind of like forgot the meaning of them in a sense. But with Pencil Brims, I think that was kind of towards like the beginning of the relationship, and like that sort of like thing of like, it was like this interaction which was dead bizarre, like between we were on a night out, and this like She Steals Smoke bit was like this woman came up to us and like asked us for a threesome, and I was like, no, obviously. And like I think like the girl I was with like took the cigarette and then took like a drag from it and then gave it back to her, and I was like, so that was where that line came from.
Oh, okay.
I've got a bit red talking about that.
Don't worry, it won't show up on camera.
Turn the saturation down. Yeah, but like that song kind of was really cool to make because it was like we didn't have the end section of it as well. So like it was just like before the bridge, before it kind of goes crazy. So when I was in the studio, Corin was kind of like, oh, like, I feel like this song should be longer. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I'll go write the end of it. And then it just like happened. Like I wrote it really quickly. And then because I wrote it like in a completely different tempo, we were like, oh, we kind of have to like work with this now, even because it like sped up really quickly unintentionally. And then, and then we added all the crazy little bits to the end, which I think is my favourite song, definitely, Pencil Brims. For that sort of reason, that it's just like a bit whack, which probably explains the experience as well of what it kind of like some of the lyrics are about is a bit whack.
Nice. And then the third tune?
The third tune, oh yeah, Equal, was written more like most recently, and I was watching that Netflix series called Knock Down the House, I think it's called.
Don't know that one.
It's about like a group of Congress women, a group of women running for Congress, and they come up against a lot of different like issues, and like I could relate to a lot of the issues. Like they were getting undermined a lot because they were women and like what they were trying to do and their message and sort of things. And I just kind of felt really inspired by like their like determination to like keep going at something that kind of seemed a little bit like impossible. And so then I went upstairs like afterwards after watching it and wrote the chorus of like of the song, and then kind of like around in the verses I just wanted to write a little bit about like my own experiences with like discrimination or like misogyny or like all those sort of things, and kind of get my own personal like slant on it as well. And so the song kind of, I didn't really intentionally go to like write a song about like equality or anything. It kind of just like was like a reaction to that film, and then I started like adding bits in myself.
Okay. Now, as a white man, I don't know, obviously, like what kind of experiences, particularly like within the music industry, is that still very much a thing, like a lot of misogyny, and like what kind of things have you, well, both of you, like gone through, and how do you sort of overcome that and push on through? Enlighten me, please.
How do you do that? I don't know. I think like some of the experiences I've had where people had just kind of, I'd like been really submissive in situations because I thought, oh, they know better than me because, you know, they're the one sat at the desk, you know, doing something like, and so they'll know like how to do this, and I'll just say yes to everything and just see like what happens, and then realizing that like, no, like my opinion about my own song is kind of important, and like the directions of stuff, and I think some of the meaning in the lyrics is behind that sort of thing of like, really, if you don't like something in the way it is, like saying that you don't like it is not like offending anyone, like that's collaboration, like but I was always kind of feel like really, I don't know, I go into the studio and instantly just like be like, I'm like, don't know what I'm doing, and like feel like really submissive and kind of just think yeah, and like, and then you end up with something that you don't like at the end. So like it's like a hard one, but like it was more like my mentality had to change, but it had been sort of, my mentality had been created by consuming all of these like, you know, parts of society of like, oh, you have to behave like this, or like this is a way to be, or whatever, be polite and be nice, and that's where those like kind of bits came from.
I think it's so important, particularly just to like come across, like people respond to like genuinity and like sort of a bit of realness in art and stuff is that thing of like trusting yourself and just being like, no, fuck you, I'm doing me, and I don't care what you think.
Exactly, yeah.
And it comes across, and it's not even like, and I've had this discussion with quite a lot of people, it's not like even like a tangible thing in terms of like what's in the music, but it comes across in a way like you can see people respond to someone that is like pouring their heart on the page or just being genuinely in themselves, and there is like a responsive nature to that. I don't know what that thing is. It's like some sort of mystical thing that I'm still trying to figure out. But yeah, I think it's so important. I think that's what makes your music really cool as well. Like that instantly came across as like, this person knows who she is, does her thing, and it was instantly attractive. Like to listen to and to just be a part of. Even just like your imagery and the way you put yourself across is like a sort of very unique attitude, which I was just like, this is fucking cool.
Oh,
gotta get her on the fucking podcast. Yeah, definitely. So have you got anything coming up in the pipeline that you want to tell people about?
So I mean, no gigs are coming up at the moment, so the next thing to look out for, the reason is because I'm focusing on getting everything sort of together in the studio to get recording for the next EP.
Sure.
So the next thing to look out for is the next EP.
Do we have an ETA on when that will be?
Summertime is like the aim.
Okay.
So the songs, like it's taking a bit longer because I've been trying to get the things down, the songs down in Logic, and getting some sort of like blueprint around them myself, which I've never done before, which is why it's taken a little bit longer. But I want to kind of see what happens when I kind of start that process and what naturally starts to happen sonically around the songs, because I've always just took them in like dry, you know. And so yeah, that's the next thing, but summertime's the aim for everything to come together.
Nice, nice. And if people want to follow your journey, where can they find you online, Amber?
So, on all streaming platforms, Amber J, Jay, and all social media at I am Amber J.
Amazing. Yeah. And Ella, where can people follow the Where the Girl Bands things?
You can find us on Instagram at Where the Girl Bands, which is where all of our stuff is. It's all on Instagram. So if you want to contact us, do it there.
Awesome. I do have one more question for you both before we wrap this sucker up. If you could sum this podcast up in 3 words, what would it be?
Ooh. I'd say professional.
Oh, I'll take that one.
Good one.
Very professional. Like friendly. Like I feel like it's just like a nice little friendly conversation. Last word. What can I? Great.
Sound.
Sound.
Right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It'll do. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ella?
My first word is funky. I feel like we've got very funky vibes.
Yeah, I could get on board with that.
From the shoes to the moves to the tunes. Oh my god! Actually, you put that in your Instagram bio immediately.
Funky.
That was fantastic.
We have to write that down.
Wholesome. Like it's been a very sweet conversation.
Yeah.
And I've come up with quite a few words today.
You
My
have.
brain is struggling.
Yeah.
What's the final word? Interesting. Hearing all of your little behind the scenes thoughts about stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree. Thank you both very much for coming on today.
Oh, thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, of course. People at home, follow Amber online. Listen to her music. She's great. She's great at what she does. Follow Where the Girl Bands, because they're fucking great as well. They do so much good work in the community and supporting artists. Follow them as well. And whilst you're out there following people, follow me. No. Follow us on RecRooms. We put on different artists every week. We're going to be doing some more collaborations with Where the Girl Bands. We're on all good audio podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Dare I say we're on TikTok? We are on there. So if you do the TikToking, you can TikTok away to your heart's delight. That's all we have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will see you again next week. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to catch up on new episodes every week. Also, check us out on our Facebook and Instagram at RecRooms, where you can find out about our other exciting music series. We also have this and all our other episodes of the podcast up on our RecRooms YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. See you next time.